Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to give us a big thumbs up and share the broadcast. That way notifications are generated more. And how many of you all know that's so important for we who are Black, independent, alternative media? That's so important that you are intentional about sharing our message, because there are some powers that shouldn't be. That's what I call them. Not just the powers that be. I said the powers that shouldn't be, that don't necessarily like us being a counter voice to what they've been doing for so many years and backed by billions and billions of dollars. So thank you so much for that. Listen, family, I want you to watch this very brief clip. There's a couple of different sources that I was looking at recently, but this particular one from Black Culture that specifically talks about a couple of different military troops and allies that's touching down in Burkina Faso. Watch this.
By welcoming Cuban and Venezuelan troops, he has aligned Burkina Faso with two nations long famed for their defiance against Western dominance. This decision is significant for Burkina Faso's defense and independence. For decades, the West has exerted control over Africa through economic dependency and military alliance. Traore's actions send a clear message. Burkina Faso, like Cuba and Venezuela, is ready to assert its autonomy, even if it means breaking from powerful nations that still see Africa as a subordinate partner.
Okay, did you all hear that? Certainly you all know by now that there have been nonstop attempts to take the life of Captain Traore. We know that because not only what's been reported, but we understand that the powers that shouldn't be don't want him there, because his ascension, his rise, is a big threat to the interest of these Western countries. I did a broadcast earlier, and hopefully you got a chance to see it, where he was specifically talking about the fact that he knows the names. He knows the identities of the hidden imperialist states. And he said, not just France. I hope you had a chance to take a look at that. If you haven't, be sure to check that out right here on this network. So that's important to understand. What that means is that he stands in the way of the interests of these countries that exploited, that stole, and that helped to take the lives and destroy and bring violence and destruction to that region. So how many of you all know the thing that you think stands in the way of your exploitation, the things that you know that stands in the way when you don't have a puppet regime and a puppet president and one that's willing to resist? That person is considered to be a danger. How many of you all know that one of the sacred scriptures says to resist the devil and he'll flee? That lets you all know that there is going to be some resistance whenever you move towards development and sovereignty. It's not going to be easy. There are certain generations that'll pay a heavier price for the sake of others, but it's going to be worth it in the end, in this world and the worlds to come. Yes? That's why we must support spiritually and materially in whatever way that we can. Even if it's from your sister with the curly braids, all the way from these United States of America, born and raised in the very deep South in Mississippi, now currently living in the wild, wild West. Even if it's just me using my prophetic voice. If it's me doing my spiritual work to pray and to release spiritual energy for their increase of power and protection and victory. If it's something that you physically can do, praying for the strength of the people that's there. For those that are within proximity or that might be in the country, that might be under the sound of my voice, making sure that you don't ever compromise, that you don't ever become an enemy of your own people. That when you see something that's nefarious, that's wrong, that you say something in order to save your people. That you understand that it may look like you may get away with something wrong now, but baby, there's going to be a consequence and a price later on. I'm a spiritual teacher, so it doesn't matter whether you believe this or not, understand it or not. There's another dimension. There's another sphere that you transition to, baby. Again and again and again. And you're going to give an account one way or another for what you do. So that's why you want to do what's right. And those dimensions are more than just this notion of hell. In this article, even from last year, written by this man by the name of Mr. Ben Norton, it headlines how Burkina Faso's new president condemns imperialists and how he quotes Che Guevara and allies with Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba. Of course, in the clip that you just saw, you saw where they're talking about the troops, and some estimates based on a couple of different reports I've seen said thousands of troops are going to be touching down in Burkina Faso in order to defend the country and its president, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, this is really something because the West didn't want to get out because the West was acting like they were irreplaceable and indispensable for protection. But we always know that your presence there is suspect, and whether or not you just look and appear that you're here for defense, but in fact, you're the hidden hand behind the uprising and terrorism and exploitation that's there. This rise and this alliance that they have, as this article suggests, for some time now, and the piece that you just heard, their connection with Venezuela and Cuba lets you know that they're connecting with the global South, baby, the global majority of the planet. And we don't need the West. We don't need our open enemy. We don't need the opposer and the adversary to defend us. Defend us in quotes. Salute Burkina Faso. Viva Burkina Faso. May the divine be with you and stay with you. And may you triumph and prevail in all that you do. And that you roar mightily, stand mightily, and that your faith won't fail you. I'm your sister with the curly braids all the way here from these United States of America, and you inspire me. And I send you so much love and light, as I'm sure so many of our viewers do as well. I can't wait to hear what you have to say below. Beloved, if you want to stay connected with me as we help to raise up the new world leaders by first getting us spiritually fit with high-level spiritual, divine classified information, join the Vicki Dillard Mystery School today. Beloved, people from all over the United States and folks from around the world are getting breakthrough signs and wonders over time by being connected to my spiritual school. It doesn't matter what your religion is or your spiritual background, because the principles that I teach exceed one religion and it exceeds one spiritual tradition because it is a universal principles that I teach from. Go to my website at VickiPlanet.com. That's VICKI planet.com, VickiPlanet.com. And of course, share the broadcast that you just saw. I can't wait to see you again.